They had already said the baby was dead. The machines were still warm. The room still smelled of medicine and fear. A nurse had her hand on the switch. And that was when a soaking wet 14-year-old boy stepped forward and said, "He's still here." No one listened at first. Outside the hospital, rain poured hard enough to blur the streetlights. Water rushed along the sidewalks and soaked through the thin soles of Eli Carter's shoes. His hoodie clung to his skin. His stomach twisted with hunger. Eli had learned to stay near the hospital when storms came. The back wall blocked the wind. Sometimes a kind nurse slipped him a sandwich. Sometimes security chased him away like a stray dog. He never begged. He just existed. That night he stood near the entrance doors, shivering. People rushed past him, dry and warm, carrying flowers, coffee cups, balloons. No one looked at him twice. Inside, on the third floor, in a private intensive care room, silence pressed down like a weight. A baby lay in a white hospital crib surrounded by wires and tubes. His name was Oliver Grant, 8 months old, pale, still. The machines that had breathed for him now made a slow, empty sound. Dr. Mitchell, the lead physician, stared at the monitor for a long time. The line was flat. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. "Time of death, 8:42 p.m. A sound broke from the man standing beside the bed. Victor Grant. Everyone in the city knew his name. Billionaire investor. Owner of towers that touched the clouds. A man whose signature could move markets. But now he was just a father collapsing to his knees. His wife had died months earlier during childbirth complications. Oliver was all he had left of her. The last small piece of her smile. The last heartbeat that tied him to her. And now that heartbeat was gone. Victor pressed his forehead to the edge of the bed. His shoulders shook. The expensive suit he wore meant nothing in that room. A nurse reached to power down the machines. The door clicked softly. No one noticed the boy who slipped inside. Eli had only stepped in because he saw the nurse crying. He did not understand what room it was. He just wanted to get out of the rain for 1 minute. Then he saw the baby, and something inside him tightened. He had seen stillness before. He had seen it when his little sister stopped breathing on a cold mattress 2 winters ago. He had seen adults give up too quickly because they were tired and poor and hopeless. Eli moved closer without thinking. That was when he saw it. Tiny twitch. So small it could have been nothing. But Eli knew the difference between nothing and trying. "He's not gone," Eli said. The nurse turned sharply. "Security." Dr. Mitchell frowned. "Son, you can't be in here." Eli's heart pounded. His mouth moved. He insisted. "I saw it." "That's a reflex," someone snapped. The nurse's hand went back toward the machine. "No!" Eli shouted. Before fear could stop him, before anyone could grab him, he rushed forward. Gasps filled the room. He reached the crib and gently lifted the baby. Alarms exploded into sound. Red lights flashed. "What are you doing?" Dr. Mitchell yelled. Security rushed in. But Eli did not think. He did not plan. He remembered. He remembered his mother flipping his sister onto her stomach once when she choked on milk. He remembered her tapping her back, whispering prayers through tears. Eli turned Oliver slightly forward and patted his back. Not hard, not wild, steady and firm. "Come on," Eli whispered. "Please." Victor stared in shock, too broken to move. "Breathe," Eli said, voice shaking. "Please breathe." For a second, nothing happened. Then a small sound. A weak, rough cough. Water and mucus spilled from the baby's mouth. Another cough. Then a cry. Thin, fragile, but real. The room froze. The flatline monitor flickered. Beep, beep, beep. Dr. Mitchell rushed forward. "Get him back on the bed." Nurses moved fast. Tubes reconnected. Oxygen masks secured. Security still held Eli's arms. But no one pushed him out now. Victor stood slowly, staring at the monitor. A heartbeat, weak but steady. Dr. Mitchell's hands trembled as she checked the readings. "This doesn't make sense," she whispered. "His oxygen levels are rising." Oliver cried again. The sound filled the room like light breaking through darkness. Victor walked toward Eli. Up close, the boy looked smaller. Dirt under his nails. Old bruises. Eyes wide with fear like he expected punishment. "You saw something we didn't," Victor said quietly. Eli swallowed. "I just didn't want him to be alone." The words hit Victor harder than anything else that night. Because Oliver had almost been alone. Doctors ran tests for hours. Brain scans. Blood work. Oxygen levels. No explanation. "He was gone," one doctor said under his breath. "No," Dr. Mitchell corrected softly. "He wasn't." Eli sat in a hallway chair, soaked and shaking. A nurse handed him a blanket and a tray of food. He stared at it like it might disappear. "Go on," she said gently. He ate slowly, careful, like someone who knew hunger too well. Later that night, Victor found him. "Where are your parents?" Victor asked. Eli looked down. "My mom died," he said. 2 years ago. My sister too." "And your father?" Eli shook his head. Victor felt something break open inside him. "You can't go back outside tonight," he said. "Stay." That night, Eli slept in a clean hospital guest room. He did not sleep well. He woke twice, afraid someone would tell him it was a mistake. But no one did. Oliver remained critical for weeks. Machines still helped him breathe. Doctors warned that damage might be permanent. "He may never walk," Dr. Mitchell said gently. "He may never speak." Victor nodded. He did not care. His son was alive. And every day Eli came to sit beside the crib. He talked softly about nothing important. About the way rain sounded on metal. About stray cats behind the bakery. About stars you could see when the city lights went quiet. Sometimes Oliver's fingers moved when Eli spoke. Sometimes his eyelids fluttered. One nurse whispered, "He responds more when the boy is here." Victor began to notice it too. One night Oliver's oxygen dropped suddenly. Alarms screamed again. Doctors rushed in. Eli stood frozen in the corner. Oliver's tiny hand reached blindly and wrapped around Eli's finger. The monitor numbers steadied. Dr. Mitchell stared. "Keep him close," she said quietly. No one argued. Months passed. Oliver learned to swallow without assistance. Then he sat up. Then he laughed for the first time. It was not a loud laugh, but it echoed through the hospital hall like a victory. The media tried to tell the story. "Miracle baby. Billionaire's son defies death." Victor refused interviews. "This is not a headline," he told reporters. "It's a child." Eli moved into Victor's home after social services confirmed he had no one left. The house was enormous. Marble floors, tall ceilings, rooms bigger than the shelter Eli once slept in. But Eli still hid bread in his drawers for months. He flinched at raised voices. He kept a light on at night. Victor never scolded him. Healing, he learned, does not come all at once. Oliver grew stronger each year. Therapists worked with him. Doctors monitored him. But the one thing that never changed was this. When Oliver was afraid, he reached for Eli. When Eli struggled at school, Oliver sat beside him. They grew like brothers, not by blood, but by choice. When Eli turned 17, rain triggered memories he thought were buried. He froze at a crosswalk one afternoon as thunder cracked overhead. His breath came fast. The world blurred. Oliver, now 6 years old, noticed first. "Eli," he said softly. Eli dropped to his knees. And Oliver did what had once been done for him. He pressed his small forehead to Eli's. "Breathe," Oliver whispered. Eli did. That night Eli told Victor everything. The hunger, the guilt of surviving, the fear that he did not belong in a house filled with glass and light. Victor listened without interrupting. Then he said, "You saved my son because you know what it means to feel unseen. You acted when others stopped looking." Eli never forgot that. Years later, Eli chose to become a pediatric nurse. He did not want fame. He did not want attention. He wanted to be the person who stayed when others walked away. He worked night shifts. He sat beside frightened parents. He watched monitors with patient eyes. And sometimes, when doctors prepared to give up too soon, Eli leaned closer. Sometimes a child coughed. Sometimes a child cried. And sometimes, just sometimes, a heartbeat returned. Oliver grew up strong. Not perfect. Not untouched by his early struggle. But alive. One evening, as a teenager, Oliver asked him, "Do you think I would still be here if you hadn't walked into that room?" Eli smiled. "I think," he said slowly, "that love walked in. I just followed it." Outside, rain began to fall again. But this time, no one stood alone in it. Because years ago, when the world had already decided a story was over, a hungry boy refused to believe it. And that changed everything.